As a 60-year-old doctor, I've spent over 3 decades working with people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, individuals full of life experience yet entering a stage where the body begins to whisper gentle reminders. And let me say this clearly. We don't have to accept weakening legs as an inevitable part of aging. Strength doesn't only come from the gym, it begins right in your kitchen. I want you to imagine this. It's a quiet morning. You get up, place your feet on the floor. But instead of that familiar numbness or unsteadiness, you feel solid, grounded as if your body just plugged back in. That's not magic. That's the avocado. Avocados aren't just delicious. They're rich in oleic acid, a healthy fat that nourishes peripheral nerves, helping reduce numbness, leg cramps, and improving balance and coordination. A 2021 study showed that eating avocado 4 mornings a week significantly improved posture and stability in older adults. I remember Mr. Miguel, 79 years old. He once told me, "Doctor, I can't feel the ground beneath my feet anymore." But just 4 weeks after replacing his sugary breakfast with a slice of whole grain toast topped with mashed avocado, he walked into my clinic, smiling, and said, "I can feel my grandson's footsteps beside mine for the first time in months." Have you ever seen yourself in a story like that? And if avocado is the companion that supports your nerves and balance, then there's another silent guardian. I want to introduce you to seaweed. It might sound unfamiliar in a typical Western meal, but I've seen it time and again when knees start making that clicking sound every time you stand up, when walking feels like dragging 2 dry, heavy limbs. That's not just aging. That's your joints and bones crying out for hydration, for nourishment. Seaweed, thin and delicate like paper, carries nutrients deeper than it appears. It's rich in iodine, organic calcium, and natural anti-inflammatory compounds. These help increase bone density, reduce joint inflammation, and most importantly, restore synovial fluid, the cushion that allows your joints to move smoothly without pain or friction. I think of Maria, a 70-year-old former yoga teacher. Arthritis had forced her to stop teaching. But just 2 months after adding seaweed to her meals 2 to 3 times a week in miso soup salads or wrapped with rice, she returned to my clinic with a bright face and said, "I can sit, stretch, and I no longer hear the crackling in my knees." Have you heard that crackling sound in your steps lately? If so, maybe it's time to let the ocean help quiet it. But sometimes the pain doesn't come from your joints. It comes from a sudden cramp at 3 a.m. when the world is silent and your leg screams awake. Some of my patients call them midnight ambushes. And if you've ever shot out of bed, clutching your calf in agony, feeling as if a needle were twisting inside your muscle, and then spent the rest of the night wide-eyed, unable to fall back asleep, you're not alone. Let me tell you about something small, humble, and often overlooked: pumpkin seeds. To me, they're a natural magnesium remedy. Magnesium is a mineral your body desperately needs, especially after 50, to calm your nerves, relax your muscles, and prevent those nighttime cramps that steal your rest. A study from the University of Madrid found that adults over 55 who ate just 30 grams of pumpkin seeds daily saw a 31% drop in nighttime leg cramps within 6 weeks. That's not just a number, that's real peaceful sleep. I remember Carmen, 68 years old, exhausted by years of sleep being broken by leg cramps. I gave her a simple suggestion: a small handful of unsalted roasted pumpkin seeds around 4 p.m. That's it. 3 weeks later, she returned. With a smile, I slept through the night. My legs don't scream at me anymore. Are your legs screaming at night? If they are, maybe the answer isn't more pills. Maybe it starts with something as gentle as a handful of seeds in the afternoon. Now I want you to think back to the last time you stood up from a chair, and your legs felt like they were made of lead. It's not because you're lazy, It's because your muscles may be quietly fading, a process called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, that sneaks up on us after 50. But here's the good news. There's a quiet yet powerful ally that can help you fight back. It's not a supplement or a treatment. It's something simple. Chickpeas. Those small round beans, often forgotten in the back of the pantry, are packed with plant-based protein, along with magnesium, iron, and vitamin B6. These are the nutrients your muscles and nervous system crave to stay strong, balanced, and responsive. A 2019 study from the University of Murcia showed that older adults who ate chickpeas 3 times a week lost 22% less muscle mass compared to those who didn't. That's not just a statistic, that's the difference between relying on a handrail and walking freely. I think of Mr. Jose, 74 years old. After a fall on the stairs, he was convinced he'd need a cane for the rest of his life. But we worked together on one small thing, adding chickpeas into his meals, soups, salads, warm stews. 5 weeks later, he walked into my office, steady, confident, and said, "I don't need to hold on to the railing anymore, doctor. Are you still holding on to something every time you stand?" Maybe the answer isn't in a prescription bottle, maybe it's simmering in a pot on your stove right now. And now I want you to think back to the last time you stood up from a chair. Did your legs feel heavy, like they were anchored to the floor? That weight isn't laziness. It's your body quietly telling you that your muscles are fading, a condition called sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. And it happens slowly, silently, with every passing year after 50. But here's the beautiful part. There's a quiet, powerful helper sitting right in your kitchen: chickpeas. These humble little beans, often tucked away in a dusty jar or forgotten can, are actually packed with everything your aging muscles need: plant-based protein, magnesium, iron, and vitamin B6. Nutrients that not only build strength, but help your nerves talk to your muscles, so that standing up feels like standing on your legs again, not against them. A study from the University of Murcia in 2019 found that older adults who ate chickpeas 3 times a week lost 22% less muscle than those who didn't. That's not just a number. That's the difference between standing up on your own or needing someone's hand. I'll never forget Jose, a 74-year-old patient of mine. He fell down a flight of stairs and thought he'd need a cane for the rest of his life. But we made one change. He began eating chickpeas regularly, in soups, salads, stews. 5 weeks later, he walked into my office steady and smiling. "Doctor, I don't have to grab the handrail anymore. Are you still holding on to something just to stand up? Maybe the support you need isn't outside of you. Maybe it's already waiting for you, in the pot on your stove." You see, it doesn't take expensive medication. It doesn't require a total life overhaul. Sometimes it's just a few familiar foods, repeated a few times a week, that can transform your legs, your balance, and your entire quality of life. Avocado helps you feel each step again. Seaweed soothes the stiffness in your joints. Pumpkin seeds quiet the cramps that wake you in the night. Chickpeas rebuild the muscle quietly slipping away. And fermented vegetables like pickled cabbage help your body absorb every precious nutrient they offer. I've witnessed these changes not once, but in hundreds of people over 60. People who once believed I'm just getting weaker, until one day they realized their bodies were still listening, still able to heal, still waiting for them to return. And I believe if you're watching this video, then some part of you is already ready to take that first step back. So don't wait until you need a cane to start changing. Start with your next meal: a spoonful of chickpeas, a slice of avocado, a small handful of pumpkin seeds. Tiny choices filled with love for the body that's carried you this far. I'll be here again in the next video, where every step we take together becomes a little stronger. But for now, I want to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods before? And which one are you excited to begin with today? Leave a comment below. I'm always here and always listening.